Do you know where you're going? I mean, that's one of those big cosmic questions, isn't it? It's the kind of thing you ask yourself when you're stuck in traffic or, staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning. And honestly, it can feel a little daunting.
Because a lot of the time, this is how it feels. We're in constant motion emails, meetings, errands, endless scrolling. But it's like we're just spinning in a revolving door. We're busy for sure, but are we actually getting anywhere? It is the classic hamster wheel lots of running, zero forward momentum.
So here's an idea. What if the problem isn't that we're moving, but that we don't have a sense of direction? What if you had a personal map, or maybe a compass, to help guide your decisions and, get you out of that revolving door for good? Well, today we are looking at something pretty fascinating, the actual classwork from a group of English language students. They were asked to tackle these huge life questions, but they had to use the tools of corporate strategic planning. Yep, believe it or not, we're talking mission statements, vision boards, and core values, but for actual human beings, not for giant corporations. It is a little weird, a little wonderful, and as you'll see, surprisingly deep. Okay, so first up on the agenda, they had to define their personal mission. And yes, that spy movie theme music is already playing in my head too. Let's see how this went. So the worksheet just boiled it all down to one very direct question. Why do you exist? Now, in the corporate world, that's about a company's fundamental purpose. But for a person, well, it's a slightly heavier question than, say, what's for lunch. And this just perfectly illustrates the challenge, right? It's pretty easy to imagine a mission for a big tech company. But what about the mission of this guy here, planting a garden with his son? Or a construction worker, carefully laying bricks? It really forces you to think about purpose on a deeply human level. What is their why? And this is where it gets really amazing. Just look at the student's answer. For the picture of the gardener, a student named Ariane Jacoud didn't write to grow vegetables. No, she wrote that his mission was to give children a better future through education. Wow! All of a sudden, a simple activity becomes something beautiful and noble. All right, so if your mission is your why, then the next step has to be your how. And the worksheet framed this perfectly by asking, what's in your personal treasure chest? I just love this definition from the students' notes. It's so simple. Values are what you care about. That's it. They're your personal rule book, the things you won't compromise on, your boundaries. But here's the catch. You actually have to choose. You can't value everything equally. It's time to open up that treasure chest and decide which gems are the most precious to you. So the students were given this fantastic word box, which is basically a buffet of life principles. And you've got all the big ones in there: family, friendship, security. But you also have stuff like altruism, being the best, and of course, fun. So let's see what they picked. As you'd probably expect, a lot of them chose family. I mean, that's a cornerstone for so many people, right? Fun also made the cut for a few, which is a great reminder that not all of your core values have to be deadly serious. And naturally, money made the list. Let's be real, it's a practical part of life, and it's fascinating to see how people think about its importance. And then you get an answer that just stops you in your tracks. When defining money as one of her core values, a student named Jacqueline Cabral wrote this. She said, Jesus said, "Give Caesar what's his and give God what's his." I mean, for her, it's not just about earning a paycheck. It's this profound philosophical and spiritual balancing act. This is way, way deeper than your average corporate retreat. Okay, so you've got your mission, your why, and your values, your how. The last piece of this corporate-turned personal puzzle is vision. This is the what. Where are you actually headed? Okay, I absolutely have to share this. This is student Anderson Diaz's life plan. Let's walk through this. In 5 years, another apartment, travel, another car. Solid. 10 years, a house in the countryside, retire, travel more. Love the ambition. 20 years, visit different places, live in front of the beach. Perfect. And then, in 50 years, God knows. The honesty is just incredible. That is the most relatable 50-year plan I have ever seen. Now, for a totally different flavor of vision, check out Jacqueline Cabral's professional life statement. I will manage people and help others find Jesus while they drink coffee. The specificity is just unbelievable. You can picture it perfectly. It's a goal that is so uniquely and wonderfully her own. So after all this work, defining missions, picking values, and crafting these visions, does this give them a perfect, laminated roadmap to success? Well, I don't think so. And looking at their answers, that's not really the point. The real value isn't in creating some flawless 50-year plan. I mean, come on, who among us can even stick to a plan for the weekend? The real value is in the act of just stopping, looking inward, and actually thinking about this stuff. And that's what's so great about this. Their answers are all over the place. They're funny, they're deeply spiritual, they're practical, they're ambitious, and sometimes they're just, God knows. They are earnest and beautifully imperfect. In other words, they are completely, totally human, just like our own plans. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought. What if the whole point of asking, "Where are you going?" isn't to have the final destination all perfectly figured out? What if it's just about having a compass in your hand so you know, more or less, which direction you're pointed in right now?